CVA's Accura Series, Bergara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
All right, guys, this next segment's being sponsored by our friends over at Soul Shine Pizza. Y'all can find them at 4021 Hughes Crossing, Suite 101 in Franklin, Tennessee, or give Steve Brandon a call, 615-379-7767. They can take care of all your catering needs. They've got lunch specials Monday through Friday. Stop in there and see Steve and the crew and tell them thank you for all they do for us here at the show. All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and leave those phone lines open for you tonight. So if anybody else wants to call in, 615-737-7767. We're going to kind of shift gears again here just a little bit. You know, I've been doing a little night fishing.
Yep.
You have too.
Absolutely.
But it's a great time of year. I don't bass fish a lot through the year, but some of my favorite things to do are topwater, you know, as a lot of people know, but night fishing. It's a great time to get out there right now. Get out there right when the sun's coming down. You're not blazing hot. Most of the traffic's off the water, you know, because we have to fish weekends a lot, stuff like that, like everybody else. But you can get out there and that, you know, sit back in 30, 40 foot of water and fish a slower finesse bait, a little Ned rig or
anything like that.
A little Carolina rig. There's a lot of things you can do, and just it's so much more laid back. It's not near as hot, and it is a great way right now to catch bass. Whether it be smallmouth, largemouth spots, you can catch a mixed bag of them.
And walleye.
You know, throughout the night. Walleye,
trolling at night.
And they'll eat a spinnerbait. A walleye will want to.
Yeah.
We proved that
with it.
up there on Dale Holly. You got to throw those pink ones. If they ain't pink, they won't eat them. But Case B, at nighttime right now, is probably one of the best times to bass fish of the year, in my opinion.
Yes.
You can't hardly go wrong. You can throw a crankbait. You can throw a spinnerbait. You can throw a Ned rig. You can throw a worm. You know, I prefer a Ned rig or a small worm in a natural color, but just work your way slow through there. A lot of times I know one thing I did a lot, Dayton, I would just move too quick. At night, when you're doing that, you just want to take your time, move real slow, pick every rock apart. But it's a great way to get out and fish right now this time of year.
Line or something you can see with your black light, so you get a little more effect when you know your bait's on the bottom.
And you can see your line. You know, if a fish picks it up, walks off, you know, runs off with that worm.
He walks off with it.
If he walks off with it, you're in big trouble.
That's right.
If he swims off with it, you can see him do it. You know what I mean?
But it's great out there, man.
It really is. It's the way to do it, so you're not out there fighting the traffic. You're not fighting the sun. So it makes some people nervous, but honestly, it's really, you got to be a little more careful, but it's just as easy to navigate. Just take your time, don't get in a big hurry, and I'm telling you, you will enjoy it if you'll just get out and teach yourself to do it and go about it. But we got a couple calls. We're going to go ahead and at least grab one more here. Johnny, how are you doing tonight?
What's up, Brandon?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good. How y'all doing?
Doing good. We appreciate you calling.
I'm sitting on the couch watching y'all show right now. I got John Dayton Blair over there.
Yeah.
Just tell over the team. What kind of spoon is you?
Strike King. Those Strike King spoons, they'll come in a 4 or 5 inch. They got them at Bass Pro. You can't hardly get them anywhere else. Flipper used to carry them, but Flipper's out of business.
Right, out of business. Right. 4 or 5 inch.
Yes.
4 or 5 inch.
Yeah, 4 and 5 inches. It's the Strike King. The Strike King. Yeah, all the rockfish, bass, catfish, we're catching
just
everything.
Just about anything in that lake.
Anything, it's feeding on us.
Really will. You catch crappie on them.
Yeah.
We have caught crappie on them.
And that's another thing. Like Brandon.
Take me fishing with you. I'll take it.
That's fine. Just come get me. We'll jump in. You don't need to get over there till 6:30 in the evening. Like all this week, we ain't left the house till 6 or 6:15, and by 8:15, you've already caught your limit because you're only allowed 2 per person.
Where you going?
Right there at the Green Buoy at 7 points. They're in the jumps right now. They're in the jumps right now over there. They just, you can't miss them.
Okay, good. I appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah, they're chasing 4-inch shad. You'll see the shad jump plumb out of the water 2 feet, and he'll be jumping and dancing, and they're literally everywhere about an hour and a half before dark.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Even in that direct sunlight, like at 6 o'clock, 6:30, they're coming up a little bit, but as soon as that sun starts to fall a little bit, they come to life.
It is.
What I need to get your number at?
You can just call me at 615-347-0236.
You on Facebook?
Yep, hit me up there too.
Yeah, you can holler at us on Facebook.
Yeah, you
Anyway.
can hit Brandon or any of us up.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
have a good night.
Bye.
One thing you just said, you might be about to say the same thing. You mentioned those fish were hitting 4 or 5 inch shad right now.
Mm-hmm.
What size bait did you say you was
4
using?
and 5 inch spoon.
Right, going
Now-
back to match the hatch.
Right, because you can take a smaller 2 and 3 inch spoon and you're going to catch mostly just the stripe that's in there.
Yep.
But when you throw them bigger spoons, you're catching the hybrid and the bigger fish. I'm not saying you're not going to catch the stripe and the smaller hybrid, but it's
Right.
hard to catch them small stripe on those
Yeah.
bigger treble hooks.
And if they're feeding on a 4 inch, 5 inch fish
That's what you
throughout the
want.
day right now, that's what you want to
That's
throw,
it.
a 4 or 5 inch bait, because to us, you might not notice that them fish are down there all day. They see them bait fish all day, and he's
Yeah.
used to seeing that all day.
Yeah.
So,
And some of them are, some of them are gizzard shad up to 6 inches long that they're
Yeah.
after too, but most of them is what we call, I just call them jumping shad, because it's hard not to see them, because like I said, they're jumping that far out of the water in 4 feet at a time, then it looks like you're throwing bricks in behind them,
yeah, bloop, 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 bloop,
Yeah, it's
bloop,
crazy.
chasing
but it's
them
nice.
around.
I mean, it's good for the kids, the family. It's something you can catch, and you ain't out there all day, and you're not burning up. I mean, it's
Yeah.
an hour and a half, and you're done. I
Yeah.
mean, you're done.
And they're good to eat.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
you
great
can keep
eating.
a couple of them a piece. And now, is it 15 white
15
bass?
inch, 30 stripe, 2 hybrid, 2 rockfish.
2 hybrid, 2 rockfish. That's what it is. I was
Yeah.
thinking 15, but it's actually 30
Right.
over at Percy Creek.
And
That's
we
right.
talked about some stuff, and our water is a little dirty right now, man. We got coal ash in a bunch of our lakes, and we got a lot more going on, and the bacteria level really rises when the water's hot like this. So you really got to be
And
careful.
you got to have rain
You
to be
gotta-
able
to
to
flush it
to
out.
pull through. It's what you and I are talking about.
Yeah.
If we don't get
rain.
if we don't have, like, say, a hurricane event or something to really bring some I don't mean an afternoon that rains for 2 hours. We
No,
need a rain event.
soaking rain.
And that'll, kind of help change the water over a little bit.
And
But
that's just not our state.
No,
Every
it's
state,
everywhere.
I mean, it's everywhere.
It's
Your
hot and
waters
dry.
are just, it's
what it's gonna do.
It's
And now
gonna
we've
get
got
rain.
some warnings in some places that, and a lot of you have probably already read about this or heard about this, but it's some of the lakes you don't,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
a
really
good-
expect.
it's what you'd call clean lakes.
Dale Hollow has a warning on it
Center
right now.
Hill.
Center Hill has a warning on it. Cherokee.
Yep.
I'm sorry, not Cherokee.
Cheatham.
Cheatham. Yeah, not Cherokee. But some lakes that you would not typically, think of as having these levels
Well, here's
of mercury in them.
here's
They
another
do.
big problem we've had over the years. People don't like the milfoil in the lakes. That filters all of that out of the water. That
Yeah.
takes all of that stuff out of the water and cleans the water.
Yeah.
So without that milfoil, you're just still moving the chemicals, the coal ash, the sewage, and
Yep.
all that through the waterways.
That's just like a big sponge.
Yep.
That grass is, and it'll hold a
And
lot
it'll
of that stuff
clean
in
it
and
up.
keep the water cleaner. But we're constantly
At a battle
killing
with it.
and taking our
Yeah.
And I see the goods and bads. I can see both sides of it. But
And like we talk about also, in our lifetime, our kids are fixing to be in trouble. You cannot keep bulldozing down trees and 100-acre lots and stuff and put all these houses and townhomes and asphalt down that it's not going to have a repercussion.
Yeah.
You cannot bulldoze down 1,000 acres and put roofs and asphalt down that it does not affect the environment. It makes the runoff from that property into that creek twice as big as it was, and it's just,
it makes a big difference.
it's big, big difference.
And as far as that, we've already got a lot of messages about this, so I want to hit on this. We're not 100% sure where it's all coming from, but actually acid rain is the top culprit.
Sure.
From what they're saying. It's just where we have so much in our water
Right.
that's coming through our water system. If y'all, paying attention, back in school, that water makes its way through, comes back same water. Well,
Right.
it's become to where there's so much in this rain
Yeah.
and other sources that the levels of mercury are so high in bass on these lakes, that and bass in particular, I'm saying, because it's particular species they've spoken about. Black bass species is one of them, but the levels of mercury are high enough in these areas right now, and these fish, I don't mean in the water, in the fish
Physically in the fish.
that they have tested, that they do not recommend eating them,
Consumption.
especially for pregnant women, nursing women, anything, children, things like that.
And there's something a lot of people didn't know about the tilapia all those times that was full in people. Man, they are solid bacteria.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're eating tilapia, whether you go to a restaurant or anywhere, farm raised or anything, they are loaded with bacteria.
And mercury.
And mercury.
Matter of
My
fact.
wife ate some of them batches 8 or 10 years ago. 2 days later, she's at the doctor, and he's like, do not let her eat any more tilapia.
Yeah, it's amazing what our environment can do to
Yes.
us around it. We're going to get ready to take another quick break. We'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.